Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the pre-match build-up for the semi-final in Spain against a really, really good team. Who are the men to do the job tonight? And this is the side. Have you seen the team yet, Civir? Just out of curiosity.
No.
Okay, so this is your first reaction to the team that we're lining up with today. Onana starts in net, which is pretty much a given. The back three, Euro, Maguire, and Lindelof in the back three. We then have Mazraoui, Ugarte, Casemiro, and Dorgu as the four. And then we have Garnacho, Rasmus Højlund, and Bruno Fernandes as that's the team that starts today. I'll get Athletic Club's team and the substitution shortly, but if you can, just first and foremost, initial reaction to that side. Any more confident going into it or more pessimistic, would you say?
No, absolutely not. We know what's going to happen. Like, second half is going to be Casemiro comes off, or Ugarte comes off, Bruno drops into the middle, and then Kobe Mino comes up. Like, and then nothing happens until he makes that change. I don't understand why we can't just start on the front foot. You know, and we've said it here so many times. That front three of Bruno, it's never worked. Never. I don't remember. It's never. I don't know why now he seems to think that, you know, this time it's never worked. Never. And yeah, I was just hoping for something different this time. Like, I thought maybe we'll see Kobe coming or Mason Mount or something. Somebody change that front three. The dynamic within those three does not work. And Bruno is wasted in the 10. You need him in the midfield to sort of, you know, to pull strings from the midfield, man. Like, especially when we're playing away, we're going to be under the cosh. I understand Cass and Ugarte under the cosh. Maybe he wants to keep it compact, maybe. But just don't play those three together. If anything, play a false nine. You know. But you know, who am I? Like, who am I? I'm not the one who's won the Portuguese league for 4. You know, I'm not the one with all the trophies. So yeah.
I was just about to say to you, I think the midfield certainly suggests that's what he's got in mind with the Ugarte and Cass. It's going to be very reserved. It's going to be them basically on the edge of the 18-yard box, just stopping anything and everything that's coming through the middle. But the one thing I said to Sam when we did the late night live last night was them two in the middle. I mean, Casemiro has that one pass done that's in his locker where he can kind of play it behind the defence, which can work really well at times. But from both of them, really, they're not amazing on the ball, in my opinion. So playing against a team like Athletic Club, if you don't have the ball, you're going to get killed, aren't you?
You are, especially in the way we play that. When we played the 4-2-3-1 under Ruud van Nistelrooy, them two were perfect. Yeah, it worked perfectly. Like they held them. But in this system, where we need at least one of them to be able to at least carry the ball, it's tough. I don't think they complement each other really well in this system. And I'm glad you mentioned that about Ugarte, well, both of them, because when I watched PSG against Arsenal, I was like, I get it now. I was like, I understand why. No, I'm not saying he's a shit player. I was like, I know what. I understand why Ugarte had to leave. Like, that's not what Enrique was trying to do. Like, you know, he had that balance, and whatever Ugarte was going to do, he's got João Neves to do that. So I was like, I get it. I was like, this makes sense now why he left. He just didn't fit in that. And I was so envious of them, like, having midfielders that are good on the ball. Now, it's the Spanish league, I think, with Cass and Ugarte, hopefully. I mean, the Portuguese league, I'm going to hope is similar somehow in culture.
Yeah, clutching at straws there, mate.
Clutching, I really clutching. Yeah, let's just hope. But, like, yeah, let's just hope he knows what he's doing. But I'm just not confident based on what I've seen previously. Whenever we line up this way, like, I've just never had a really good result, you know. So
that says to me that midfield partnership says more than it actually does on the pitch for me, because I think it's interesting you mentioned the two semi-finals, or you mentioned not Barcelona, sorry. Who's it you just touched on then? PSG, sorry, PSG and Arsenal. But not also that in the Barcelona game, in their midfield, they've got likes of like Pedri playing in there, and you got Barella for Inter Milan, and all these kind of players, like just technical wizards, and we don't have anything close to that. So if you're going to bring in someone like Ugarte, you need someone alongside him who's really good at carrying the ball, playing through the lines, taking it off the back three, back four, whatever you want to call it, and dictating the play. And we don't have a player who can do that, which is why sometimes you do see Bruno Fernandes drop back and do that role, and he can do it to a certain extent, but he's not a specialist in there. So I think it's going to be interesting to see what they do with that midfield, because I think they need to go and buy someone to put alongside Ugarte. Otherwise, you're going to limit yourself offensively, especially going forward. Defensively, I think you'd be okay when you're defending your box. And we'll get into kind of tactics and stuff a little bit later on. But that midfield interests me. And not only that, the last time, our back three, Chivy's Lindelof, Maguire, and Euro. Euro, fine. Maguire, obviously, heroics in the Europa League. Lindelof is the one where I think that's a weak spot for us. Why do you think he's gone with him? Do you think it's just purely injuries and Shaw not being able to play another 90 minutes, you think?
I have no idea. I really don't have any idea why they do that. Maybe experience. We're playing away. Maybe he needs someone to go ahead. I know Lindelof isn't everyone's favourite cup of tea. He's definitely not mine, but he has stepped up in crucial moments sometimes, and I just hope today is one of those days. But I honestly cannot justify why he's gone with Lindelof. It's clearly something he's seen in training, or
maybe
like
Shaw
maybe
isn't fit enough though. If he genuinely isn't fit enough and it's a risk, then
or maybe that, because I actually wanted. I would have loved Shaw to play, honestly.
Yeah,
I know he had a really bad game, but then some of these players sometimes like they need, especially when you're coming back from injury, long-term injury, you need 1 or 2 games to kind of get up to speed.
Yeah.
We've seen that happen with Shaw. We've seen it with different players. It's happened a lot with Maguire, Casemiro. So I was hoping, to kind of get, I was hoping we'd get Shaw on the left and Dogu playing the right wing back, but it's just one of those ones. This year, I'm not confident in this one.
The one thing that worries me on those two centre backs, I think Euro is very capable of defending wide channels, and I think he's decent at it. But on the graphic, it's saying that Euro is starting as the left-sided centre half, and Lindelof is starting as the right-side centre half. Their best player operates in that space. Nico Williams on that left-hand side.
Nico Williams.
If Lindelof don't get the help off Mazraoui, I think he's going to get burnt to pieces. Genuinely, that's the biggest worry.
And I think he's going to pin Mazraoui down. We're not going to get anything from that left hand, from the right hand side. Honestly, I think he's just going to pin Mazraoui, especially when you have an experienced manager like Valverde. That's what scares me, because the way he would approach this game is, he's going to use that whole La Masia sort of style of football, and literally just because we don't have any ball players in the middle.
Nope.
They will pass us
suffocate.
Honestly.
High press, get the ball, win the ball back quickly. And not only just that, I was going to get into the tactical talk with Athletic Club a little bit later, but we can mention it now. Not only just that, because what I do is when we do the previews for the game, I always go back and I want to look at how they play, and I want to look at individuals. Luckily for us, they haven't got no Sansei, who's been their best player this season. He's really dangerous player around the box. But what they can do, they can mix it up, so they can keep hold of the ball a lot, and they can kill you like that against the lower oppositions, let's just say. But also, they have that direct threat, like Spain did, if you remember in the Euros, with coincidentally the same player, Nico Williams and Lamal. They had Spain, didn't they, on both flanks. They can hit you direct through the transition, so they can kill you either way. So if you are pushing up the box, straight out to the wingers, who are the technical players, 1v1, and kill you like that. That's what I'm worried about. So you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
Same. However, the one shining light there is, whenever we've played with our backs against the wall, this is the kind of play into our strengths. So against Arsenal, against City, Liverpool, whenever we play like that, whenever we allow the other people to have the ball, this system allows us to be able to exploit space, and hopefully they leave space behind. But it's just left to be seen. If I don't think Valverde is that naive, and I don't think he's that sort of manager that is kind of like just going to throw everything up front, and he would understand the dangers that we pose with pace. Yeah. The one thing Rasmus Højlund has over anyone is pace, and that's the one thing we've never seen any experienced manager allow him to have, and I don't think that's going to happen this time. Yeah.
We never see him just striding into space.
No, we never.
Ever.
No, we don't. So it's one of the most, and apparently they have a really good defensive record in La Liga as well.
The best.
This is the best.
They have the best defensive record,
right?
And they've only lost 5 games in La Liga this season.
Okay. All right.
I can see your face. All right, okay.
All
Okay.
right. Okay.
Yeah, but
That's what I wonder.
yeah, well, I'm going to get into the rest of the team, and I'll get into the comments very, very shortly, because there's quite a lot of you in the chat, so please do leave a like on the video for us if you can whilst you're watching. But Dorgu, Civir, usually when we play any team, it feels like at the minute, the one outlet appears to be him. He's the one who seems to be getting to the byline. It isn't Dallo, it isn't Mazraoui, typically. It is him who finds the free space and linking up with Bruno Fernandes. I'm not sure what side Garnacho's on. I don't know if he's playing on the right side or left side. Hopefully the right, because when he is on the left, him and Dorgu seem to getting in a little bit of a tangle, don't they? But I think recently Dorgu, especially in the Bournemouth game, has looked really, really sloppy. And one of the reasons why they scored was because obviously he got it pinched off him, didn't it? And Bilbao set up very similar to how Bournemouth do. So that's a worry for me first and foremost. But I mean, he needs to be sharper on the ball, doesn't he? From a technical standpoint, we can see the physicality and the athleticism, but I want to see more from him. I know he's only just come in, and I know that might be harsh, but he started off really well, and I feel like he's had a bit of a dip at the minute. I don't know if you agree with that assessment.
100%. And it kind of looks like it's like a lapse of concentration.
Yeah.
Where he's like, so it's not like he's lacking physically. So I agree with you 100%. It's not like there's a lack in physicality or anything. It's just the decision making is starting to get a bit sloppy, and it's almost like he's getting his head. But then he's young, so I don't know whether that plays into it. I don't know, man. I just hope, this is the sort of game, because we need him. He's really important to the way we play. He's key to the way we play. And if we have a player like him who's on point, because the way we actually play out, the wing backs are actually wingers.
Yeah.
Like that's the number one thing, is to attack. And he's really good at that. And we will need somebody to do that. But then maybe it's him and Garnacho just didn't connect properly. I don't know. I really don't have any options as to why he's going to do. The only thing I can just say is, I don't know, maybe it's just a mental thing. Maybe. Hopefully it doesn't last. And hopefully he comes back in. But he's so key, because I know those first two games when he played really well, it was really, that was an outlet the whole time.
It looked really good.
Yeah, he was. What game was it where was it Sociedad, where he forced a foul?
Yeah.
And I think he also forced a red card as well. Like, he was just a problem.
He was terrorizing him all game.
Yeah.
All game. He was.
Mm.
So, yeah, that wing back area, I don't know. I really liked him when he came in as well. I'm not saying that he's a bad player now all of a sudden. Players are like this, especially when you first join the club. It takes time, right? And I get that they'll have a dip or whatever. But because he's the only specific wing back that we have at the minute, of course, Amad's in the team as well, and he's on the bench. But we don't know how long.
Amad's on the bench?
He's on the bench, yeah.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
Amad and Delit, both on the bench.
On the bench?
Yeah.
He's playing. He's coming on.
I think, yeah,
100.
I mean, I don't know how many minutes he can play, but I mean, if you can keep it tight up until 70th, 80th, and he's got 20 minutes in him, you have to play him, don't you? Have to.
100%. Like, we really need this first leg. Like, we need to set a precedent in the first leg. Like, we can't leave anything to chance. I know it's away, but we have to do it so that we can take something back to Old Trafford. But yeah, that's good to know. Amad's in the thing on the bench.
Savior. He's a savior. Him. If we're going to get through to the final of this tournament, it's going to be through Amad or Bruno doing something. Yeah. One of those two players have to do something tonight, because I look at the front three, and that has been the problem all season. Garnacho and Højlund are just like, I mean, I can't think of a comparison off the top of my head at the minute, but having them two up top, it's just there's no chemistry there whatsoever. Whereas I think actually Garnacho, the past couple of games, again, I don't know if you've noticed it, but I feel like he is starting to square it a little bit more. He's starting to pick his head up. Not much. I still want to see more from him, but it looks like he's a little bit of developing in his game. It's squaring it across the box, which is nice to see.
The conversation has definitely been had, and I think it's been hammered. But the thing is, when you're just a type of player, like, there's only so much you can learn.
Yeah.
Everything else is just instinct. Like, you just revert to what you just naturally. Yeah. You just revert to your instinct naturally. So you could tell he's really, really trying to, like, feed players. But if you can't look up when you're playing football, like, it's not there's only so much you can learn as far as looking up and being aware of surroundings. Like it's really difficult. Like if you're not that type of player, you're just not that type of player.
I agree.
You know? Yeah.
But we did have Rasmus score on Sunday. So if there's anything we can cling on to, it's the fact that he got a bit of a tap in. It was a bit of an instinctive strike, I think I would probably say.
Yeah.
I know. We've had the conversations about right. I'll let you go. Take the floor. Go with
it. No. Listen, I don't care. That's a poacher's goal. That's how I've seen Mr. score those kind of goals. I've seen Lewandowski score those kind of goals. You just put your leg out, it hits, it goes in, all that kind of stuff. Like, so I'm not even gonna give him any slack for the goal.
Yeah, leave him tonight. No pressure.
No pressure. But I'm just saying, like, there's a lot riding on this game. And I know I've made my jokes about Rasmus Højlund, but I promise you, I've bit my tongue a lot of times. Like with Højlund, like I've held back a lot of times because I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. Like, and this is if we don't progress with him as our top striker, yeah, I think that's it for me. Like, I'll be done, and I would not tolerate any Martial slander if he doesn't do anything. I would honestly, because every time me and Sam get into this battle,
oh god,
somehow Sam always mentions Martial. He brings it up all the time.
Yeah.
And I'll just,
yeah.
I mean, if you didn't know what's going on, you would think Martial was like a cancer, like someone who just destroyed, like, you know, brought down Old Trafford. I need to see that same energy.
I have given, in fairness, with Højlund, I've given as much as I possibly could in terms of just not being happy with his performances. I've said it outright. Like he's. I think the one thing I would say between him and Martial is Martial was at the club a lot longer than Højlund was. Højlund's been here 2 seasons, you know. So I think when a player's been at a club for a certain amount of time, like there was with Marcus Rashford, there's a certain expectation that, you know, you're senior here now. That was the only difference I would say between them both. But Rasmus, he shouldn't be starting games. There should be a striker ahead of him, and then probably another young striker on top of that. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah. But
he's not good enough.
You remember Martial's last season where he barely played any game. Like, he had 6 goals.
Yeah,
barely played. This guy has had how many goals? Like, this is how many games he played?
I think,
bro. And you can't even compare Martial's first 2 seasons with Rasmus Højlund's first 2 seasons. Same age, if not longer. So you can't even compare their first 2 seasons. Like, it's. But anyway, that's not what I'm saying. I really hope he scores today. I don't want to be complaining about Rasmus Højlund. I want to support my striker. I want, just
no negative energy.
No negative energy. Just do your thing, boy. Like, just do it. I'm just saying, like, you know, I'm under a lot of pressure right now. Under a lot.
Are we all? Everyone feels the same at the minute.
Oh, we need this.
We need desperate. Desperate is the word you would use. And we're desperate for any type of goal, you know, flick off the backside into the net, VAR decision. We will absolutely take goals for that.
I don't get it. Performance.
Just make it KJ. Stink the place out.
Win something. Yeah, stink it out. Park the bus. Everything. Just get a result.
Yeah, we need this. It's big. It goes out saying as well, so Bruno Fernandes is part of that front 3. If anything, set piece, free kick, penalty, long range goal, cheeky assist like the one in Lyon for Joshua Zirkzee. I want something from him. I think the past couple of games, maybe it is fatigue, maybe he is tired because he has played a lot of minutes. We've just seen Diego Dalot, for example, go down with an injury because of the amount of minutes he's playing. Just that extra squeeze of juice from him I need from Bruno tonight to get something at all, anything. Because he is the man who can deliver, like the postman. So yeah. Before we get,
I feel like Kobe and go on. Sorry.
No. I was going to get to comments, but go for it.
I was going to say, I just have a little bit of hope with Kobe and AMAD coming off the bench, and it's for me that's like a huge positive, and I'd love to see something like that. But then, just. Are
you surprised Kobe ain't starting?
Yeah, a little bit surprised. Honestly, a little bit surprised, but. Who knows, man? I think maybe he comes on as an impact sub. Somebody goes off, Bruno drops to the middle, and Kobe comes in the 10, AMAD wing back or attack or whatever. But both of them, I don't see a world where we have both of them come on and not positively impact the game. Like
I agree. Even like Mount, AMAD, and Kobe off the bench are very good options. And if it's a tight game, I would say if it's a very tight game and it's close.
Mason Mount, I think he deserves to start. I really do think he deserves. Yeah, because like whenever he comes off the bench, it's really hard to measure. Like we see he puts in a lot of effort. He runs around when he comes on.
But he's not an impact player, is he? He's not an impact.
He deserves. It's about time. Like he deserves to start. Let's just see what he's made of. Like the jury is still out. I want to see him start level-headed, calm. The last time I saw him start was against Crystal Palace with that bad loss we had. But the first 10, 15 minutes before Olise scored, Mount was doing it, man, because Bruno didn't play. And Mount was in the 10 last season. And he was just, I was like, okay, this is... And then Olise scored, and then everything just went downhill from there. But yeah, I think I'd like to see Mount start. Sorry, go ahead. Let's see what they say in the comments.
Yeah, let's get into it. Right, Rayanator saying saw the lineup, and I said Lindelof like 4 times. Baffled with that decision. Tim99 saying Lindelof. The Athletic Club social media has been dreadful. Welcome to hell. I hope we give them a proper game. The objective tonight is to take the draw back to Old Trafford. I'm all for that. I would take a draw in a heartbeat, genuinely. Andy Williams, lads, I'm trying to be positive, but by Euro, 0 pace in that back line against some of the quickest forwards in the league. Good luck, Ruben. You're going to be in for a long night. Well, I think what the plan is going to be, in my opinion, the way Amarin's going to approach this game, and again, Chivy, feel free to dive in on this. I feel like he is just going to go keep it tight, be very pragmatic, don't leave a lot of space in the game at all, so they don't have that space to run into. That's what it's going to try to gate it by that. And then maybe 70th, 80th, when you can bring Mount, AMAD, Kobe, these players on, maybe go for it a little bit more. That's what I see him doing in this.
I think so. I think that's it. I mean, that's what the lineup says. That's what the lineup is telling us, really. So
yeah, I agree. Yeah, absolutely. Charlie saying Lindelof, well, there goes the Europa League final. I'm getting the consensus here that a lot of people are happy with Lindelof. Dorgu and Mazraoui as wing-backs give you no hope, do they? Just looking at this lineup makes me more excited for the subs. Andy Williams, so uninspiring me. I see mistakes all over that team. It's nice to see so many people positive, I have to say. Lumen saying big up. European ref, Maguire and Lindelof together. Pace, I prefer not to speak. In 18 months, Garnacho and Højlund have combined in 1 goal. Is that a real stat? That can't be the real stat.
It sounds real. Combined.
18 months.
Like one pass to the other. Yeah, absolutely. I can see that.
Oh my God. That is awful. That is so bad, that. If that is real, I don't know where you got that stat from. Let me know where you got it from. That is Jesus. Tiger UK saying, let's hope it's a masterstroke putting Lindelof in. Nick, I agree with your assessment of the game plan, but how on earth do you keep it tight with that liability in goal? Well, yeah, we're not even spoke about Onana, but there's a reason why I'm not speaking about Onana. I don't even want to mention it. Same reason as Rasmus Højlund, because I don't even want to put it into the air. I don't even want it out there, because if he does what he does in Lyon, I can't fathom the stress that's going to cause me, genuinely. He needs to have a solid game tonight, don't he? Because if one mistake can genuinely change these kind of games, there could be 1 goal in this, and he could be the culprit for it.
Well, if anything, he's not. We haven't heard a peep out of him since then.
Thank God.
So, that way he's just been quiet. Like he's learned his lesson. He's definitely learned it. Like,
yeah, can't be giving a big talk and doing what he did in fucking Lyon. Not only 1 mistake we're talking about, it's 2 mistakes. Just for anyone who was asking in the comments section, I have got Athletic Club's starting 11 here, and I'll go through it just now. So like I said at the start of the show, no Sansei for them, who's been probably arguably their best player. But they do have, I can't pronounce that name in net, but Agarizbala in net. They've got Yere, Vivian, DeMarcos, some experienced Spanish talents in there. Galarreta, Juziza, Williams, Berenguer, Inaki Williams, and Mardan up top. For me, the standout ones, I have to admit, because I've watched them as a team, but in terms of individuals, I don't know much about them. It's just the 2 wingers that I'm worried about. Them 2 wingers, if you keep them at bay, you might have an half chance of getting a draw, innit?
Yeah, Nico Williams, obviously, everyone knows it. I don't really rate Inaki, though. I don't rate him. Like, he's been there for...
He's been scoring recently, though. In their last couple of games, he's been bagging. Yeah, that's why I mentioned him, so...
He's been there his whole career. Like, he's never left. I remember him from like way back, but yeah, I don't know.
Their philosophy is interesting though, isn't it? Like in a modern day generation right now, doing what they're doing, only bringing
Oh
players
yeah,
through from the Basque
yeah,
Country
yeah.
whether I
That's
think
it.
it's like south of
That's
France or something as well. There's like in today's it's weird, that, isn't it?
it's weird. It's weird.
It
I don't know how they managed to just sustain that and go with that under the radar. Yeah, they don't buy anyone else. It's literally strictly Basque players, like
mm.
from that region, basically. But yeah,
in a
and then they have
multi-billion
players.
pound era, you know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah,
bizarre.
yeah, and they have players who just stay there for forever. There was a guy
Yeah,
called Munayin. Munayin stayed. He was there for
I
God.
remember him.
Yeah,
Attacking
you remember?
midfielder
Yeah,
was it?
yeah,
Mooney.
yeah.
Yeah,
Little guy. Yeah,
yeah.
and he'd been playing since he was like 17.
Mm.
Like towards the end of his career. Herrera stayed there for a while before he moved to us because he came to us when he was 26, I think, under Herrera. Yeah, there's just Fernando Llorente was there for a long period of time. Like they just keep their players.
I like it though.
Yeah.
I think it's refreshing in
I
this
like
modern
it.
day
Yeah, I
era.
like it. Yeah,
When you've got the Chelseas of the world doing what they're doing, buying willy-nilly everywhere, fucking throwing money at players, for them to go, no, we're going to stick with this philosophy. And they're in the top four as well, by the way, in La Liga. It's not as if like they're no scrubs near the bottom of the table. Like they are competing. They've got a really good team. They've got a really good manager. And
they're not like us.
whether you can ever push to that next level of like Champions League glory, and I don't think so, because you
It'll
do
be
need to
tough.
buy that talent that takes you to that next level sometimes. But yeah, I like it. I think it's really refreshing. I think it'd be interesting for a team in England to try and do that, because I don't think they'd be as successful, because of the nature of
No
the
way.
Premier League is just a beast in it.
Yeah, I mean, because England, the business aspect of it would not allow that. You'd have to be fucking Elon Musk, who doesn't really care about anything else. But yeah, I mean, it's fun. It's never going to happen here. Yeah, it's business, it's money, it's all about.
Yeah.
It's not really about football.
Yeah. Okay, so heading into this, just a little bit of tactical talk. So a couple of notes that I wrote down for the game. Obviously against Bournemouth, because I remember Amrin touching on this. There is similarities between both teams. I think Iriola actually came from the Basque Country, or near that kind of region. So he's been influenced heavily by those kind of coaches, and that's why you've seen a similar setup with Bournemouth. But in that Bournemouth game, we started really slowly, didn't we? And the way they was pressing the life out of us. There is one thing that if there was a message I could say to the players today, do not start this game slow. Because if you start this game slow in this stadium with those fans and those players, I think it's game over already, in the first 10.
Yeah. And I think they're going to want to make that happen as well. Because they know they're coming back to Old Trafford.
And the finals in Bilbao, Civir as well.
You read my mind. I was literally going to say that. So they will do anything they can to get. I don't remember the last time Athletic won a cup. So this is more important to them. Like these guys are no pushovers. Like they're going to make it hell for us.
Yeah.
And I just think we need calm heads. Look at what happened at Bournemouth. Like we're just throwing the grenade. Oh yeah, you have it, and then they press us.
Hot potato, innit?
Yeah, literally, it was literally that. Like, and it started from Onana. So we just hopefully they learn from that. It's hard for me to see them learning from anything, because they haven't shown us that they've learned, a lot from their mistakes and stuff. And the thing about it is that when we play like really, really good teams, like your Cities, your Arsenals, like we sometimes we put up a performance. When we play teams that we're supposed to beat, is when this is when we just come out with like the worst performances. This is why I'm just worried, because Sociedad was in our minds. They were like, okay, I think everyone kind of thought with the way we're playing now, they're better, sort of thing. But then these are guys where we like realistically we should be beating these guys. And that's what makes me scared.
Yeah, with Spanish teams specifically as well. The way they keep the ball a lot and make you work. I mean, discipline, concentration, positioning. Those 3 words for me tonight. You cannot be ill-disciplined, chasing a ball, moving out of position and losing or slipping on the edge of the R box when Nico Williams has gotten it, because they will punish you. And I touched back on it before. Both of those right-sided and left-sided centre-halves are going to have the game of their life. Yoro and Lindelof are going to have to be really, really good tonight. in order to get something out of this. But yeah, I don't know,
we're
man.
we're really going to need the senior players to step up. Like we need the experienced players, the Maguires. Maybe that's why Lindelof is in. Lindelof, Cass, Cartier, Bruno, the big boys. Like we really need their big boy caps on today. Like they really need to. This is a mental sort of, expedition that they have to succeed in. But yeah, let's see what happens.
Do you know what they're good at as well? And Liverpool did this under Jurgen Klopp. Like they would, so off the ball, they high press really aggressively. But then when there's an overload on a certain side, they have those technical plays, those quick switches of play, like Trent would do to the opposite side to just kill you off. And because if our wing backs are pushing right up, or we're trying to at least, and committing, they will switch, they'll occupy that space, and they'll kill you on it. And that's what I'm worried about. There's so many things in this game tactical where like United could just get it wrong. If there's one little slip up, or one little, like I said, bit of ill discipline, they will kill us. They'll absolutely kill us. So we need everyone to have a really good performance tonight, be switched on, otherwise I won't be done for, genuinely. Right, let me see if there's any quotes coming out from Ruben Amorim, because usually we have a couple from the manager. I just want to get his thoughts on the game. For anyone who hasn't seen it as well, United agreed to sign Enzo Cannavajic from Le Havre, who's a young talent, and apparently we beat competition from Chelsea, Monaco, and PSG, so a signature. So that's another youngster from Ineos who they're pushing for, which is, I suppose, nice to see.
Le Havre is mad. Le Havre is mad. Everyone
I've never heard of it, to be honest with you.
Really? That's where Kante came from. That's where Pogba came from. That's where what's the guy, the winger from Man City, who went to Saudi, the Moroccan. Mahrez came from Le Havre. Ben Alpha came from, like, they just churn out the talents. Like, it's a crazy place, man. It's crazy.
Interesting. Yeah, I never ever heard of that.
Yeah, Le Havre is crazy. Their list of players is insane. It's a roll call, basically. The best.
Well, hopefully, it works out, but obviously that's a lot down the line. Right, back to the comments. Muppety said the Garnacho Hoyland start. Right, okay, so I know where it's coming from, that's fine. Rasmus is awful. I hope he proves me wrong, but I doubt it. The atmosphere in the ground is going to be toxic and honestly hell-like for some of these players. Big test for them and really big chance to audition for next season. And he's saying, I do not see how we keep a clean sheet in this game. Very worrying. And Rainick is saying, Onana's the biggest worry for me tonight. The Lyon game lost all trust in me as we could play beautifully for 95 minutes and he can switch off just like that. I also think Xerxes was a big part in that game as well, and he's a miss. Having someone who could take hold of the ball and just take the pressure off and the sting for 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, Xerxes is seriously important in the Europa League, really. Especially against Sociedad. Like he was really, like, he's a big miss, huge miss, honestly. Because I remember, like, when we equalized 2-2 against Sociedad, was it Sociedad? Yeah, 2-2 when Kobe came on. The exchange with Xerxes and Kobe, it was just for however short it was. Like they were really, really finding each other, and it's just it's a big miss, massive miss.
Do you think, with this team travelling, do you think Bilbao will be fearful, or do you think they'll be confident tonight?
I think they'll be confident. They'll be super confident. The Spanish always have this, they feel like they're, footballers. I know footballers from England, but they feel like they're the real football people. Like when you talk to real Spanish, like they have this
Spanish arrogance.
Yeah, they have this arrogance, and they don't think any club in England is better than them. Like they feel like they can outplay anyone, and they're going to be very, very, very up for this, especially when it's like the finals are going to be in theirs. And they like to do this whole romantic thing where it's like, finals going to be in our stadiums, our time, and all that kind of stuff. They'll probably have fucking songs or, whatever. But no, they will not be afraid at all, 100%. And the manager as well, he's coached Barcelona. Like he's been there. He's been there, so he knows what's up. He's played with the biggest players ever. Like he knows he's unfazed. So
historically as well, in Spanish teams have killed us, haven't they? You look at when we got knocked out under Ten Hag in the Europa League. It was Civir won it who knocked us out. You look at go back to the final against Barcelona as well. We got knocked out.
When Jose was here, we got knocked out with Sevilla. Yeah. So it's been I mean, the only time we played Bilbao before we won, I think we played them twice. We won and we won one.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. But then, yeah.
As
But Spanish sides. Sorry.
No, I was going to say, has any team ever won the Europa League unbeaten before? And in which case, do we get a golden trophy like Arsenal did with the Invincibles?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, as long as we get it, as long as we get a trophy. I'm not sure if that's possible if we get like a golden thing. You know?
Well, if you go unbeaten,
yeah,
in the Europa League, I always feel bad for like suggesting it because I say to Arsenal, "What do you mean you got golden like Premier League trophy? What you're talking about? Just because you got unbeaten, but you had 12 draws in that campaign or whatever it was."
Yeah, we're the only side in Europe that hasn't lost a game.
It's weird, isn't it? Unbeaten in Europe somehow.
Yeah, have not lost a game.
Yeah. So I mean, if there's any positivity on Magic or Houdini shit that you want to cling on to, I think that's probably it. Yeah. Right. Sorry, I was waiting for some quotes to come out from the manager just before we head off and give our score predictions as well. Nothing coming out as of yet. So as of now, we'll just do maybe 3 or 4 things you're going to predict from this game, Chivy, for us if you can.
Boring. I'll just go with the obvious.
Boring in what way? Do you think they'll have a lot of the ball? They'll be pressing, but we'll kind of negate them in that kind of way.
Yeah. But then again, this is Man United. Like we might just end up having like a crazy game. But I'm just going to go boring. There won't be too much in there. I think it will be cagey. I can't really think of anything else apart from maybe a yellow card from Ugarte.
You think they win?
My head is telling me like, yeah. Honestly, I think it's a big ask. It's a big ask to win away with that starting lineup. It's a huge ask. But I think they're in a much better moment than us. They're a far more balanced team than us. We have a lot of square pegs in round holes in our team, like loads of that, and they know each other. They play together forever. I mean, it's a big ask to win. I just don't want to say it out, but I won't be surprised.
I get it. You don't want to be negative for a game. You want to put positive energy into it. I absolutely get it. But I agree. I think I would not be surprised at all if we didn't score a goal tonight and they get 1, or maybe even 2. I could see 1-0, 2-0 Athletic Club.
You know what pisses me off about whenever you say this, because you're always almost
no, because I don't want it to happen. I don't want it to happen.
Honestly, every time I'm like upbeat and then you go 1-1, and it's always it always happens that way. You just see it happen.
You gotta be honest, though, innit? Like, you watch this team week in, week out. You know what they're capable of, innit? So I could see it maybe even being tight till 75th, 80th, and then the pressure just gets to us and they just collapse. Yeah. And then they get 1 and maybe 2, and it's like bit of a mountain to climb at Old Trafford. That's what I see. I also see Lindelof picking up a yellow because I think defending on that right-hand side against Nico Williams, he's got his fucking hands full. So either him or Majari are definitely going to get a yellow card. Garnacho will do Garnacho things. He'll have a couple of shots in this game, whether it be on target or not. It's a different conversation. And then I think they'll have a lot of corners as well because I think they will be pushing the envelope in terms of trying to get into those final thirds. And a lot of it will be going out for corners.
We might do the long ball thing, though.
I hope so. Don't fucking build up from the back. When you see what happened against Bournemouth? Are you joking? Like, fuck it, go long. I'm not arsed. Like, if they lose this time, I'm like, go long. I'm happy with that.
Put it in the air.
Do you know what I mean?
They hate it when it's up there. Yeah.
Because that's a 50-50 gamble then, in the air. Playing out from the back, the way they press and the way we are on the ball, it's leading more to them winning it in reality. Yeah. So, yeah. Right, last few comments, and then we shall head off, and because obviously we went live a little bit earlier, and we'll let you just go watch the game or whatever stuff you want to watch. Onana's the big... Oh, sorry, I already read that out. Does anybody have the feeling of Villarreal in the pit of their stomach? Not just Villarreal, Spain. When Spain played England in Euros as well, I remember having that feeling before the final, thinking they're just better than us. They are just better than us, and they're going to beat us.
It's just mid-table Spanish teams. They're just that stone in your shoe, like.
That's such a good way to describe it.
If it's Barca, if it's Real, you can go all out. It's we're down our sword sort of thing. But then the mid-table ones,
The stone in your
It's
shoe.
just,
What a fucking way to describe it. It's perfect, that.
It's a slow death, honestly.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah.
I hate how much pressure there is on the tournament, PSR, all that bullshit. 1-1, Bruno booked, AMAD assist, Nico Williams goal. That Leon 10-men period sticks in my head so much. Yeah, you're all absolutely spot on. I did put a poll up at the start of the show saying, how confident are you feeling on a scale of 1 to 10? 7 to 10, obviously being the best. 35% of you voted for that. 4 to 7, 47% of you voted for that. And 0 to 4, 18% of you voted for that. So it seems like the general consensus is probably going to be a draw, 0-0, 1-0 to them. That's kind of the consensus. So yeah, look, go and enjoy the game. I'm nervous as fuck.
I might put a 5 on Lindelof to score just for laughs.
Lindelof to score?
Yeah, I'll just put a 5 on that.
I put it on a yellow, mate, over to score.
What are the
He's getting
odds?
a yellow card tonight. I mean, I can't remember. Has Lindelof has scored for us, hasn't he? Surely.
Yeah,
a few times. I remember the penalty against Brighton, but apart from that. All right, sorry, I'm dragging on it. Go and enjoy the game, people. Enjoy the weather, have a beer, watch the game, and me and Sam will be live straight after it discussing the game in full. Pray, pray, pray. If we get out there with a 0-0 VAR decision, I think me and Civir will both fucking take that. So enjoy it if you can. Keep your blood pressure low, and let's go.